Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Starting the Day the Right Way 5-minute devotion for November 25th. It is the day before Thanksgiving, and my little guy is excited as can be. Today was his last day in school for 4 days. Got the 4-day weekend, and he was extremely, extremely excited about it. Couldn't wait for me to come and pick him up, and very excited about the festivities as we are planning on decorating on Friday and all that good stuff. But God led me to these verses this morning, and it comes from the book of Job. Job chapter 1, verses 8 through 12. Okay, New Living Translation puts it this way. Then the Lord asked Satan, "Have you noticed my servant Job? He is the finest man in all the earth. He is blameless, a man of complete integrity, and he fears God and stays away from evil." Satan replied to the Lord, "Yes, but Job has good reason to fear God. You have always put a wall of protection around him and his home and his property. You have made him prosper in everything he does. Look how rich he is. But reach out and take away everything he has, and he will surely curse you to your face." "All right, you may test him," the Lord said to Satan. "Do whatever you want with everything he possesses, but don't harm him physically." So Satan left the Lord's presence. The Message puts it this way. God said to Satan, "Have you noticed my friend Job? There's no one quite like him, honest and true to his word, totally devoted to God and hating evil." Satan retorted, "So do you think Job does all that out of the sheer goodness of his heart? Why, no one has ever had it so good. You pamper him like a pet. You make sure nothing bad ever happens to him or his family or his possessions. You bless everything he does. He can't lose. But what do you think would happen if you reached down and took away everything that is his? He'd curse you right to your face. That's what." God replied, "We'll see. Go ahead. Do what you want. All that is in his. Just don't hurt him." Then Satan left the presence of God. All right, so 2020 is certainly a year that we would all just want to turn the page on, just want to forget. Some of us have had more loss than we care to take assessment of. But I think God purposely puts things in the Bible for every aspect of our lives, right? His son gave up his right, came down from heaven, lived on this earth as a human to experience every single feeling and emotion that we've experienced today. This way he can talk about it from an authoritative point of view. Okay, likewise, God puts things in the Old Testament and in the New Testament because we are going to come up against a situation. And for some of us, if you know the book of Job, Satan went on to basically take everything away from Job, and eventually he was suffering physically. And if you've ever read the book of Job, it is an interesting, very interesting book. Can raise a lot of questions, but the one overarching theme of it is that God is in charge and that God still is good, even when bad things happen to us. Okay, so right here in the beginning of the book, the accuser, Satan, right? He's accusing Job of only worshiping God because of everything he has, and said basically, if you strip him of everything, then he won't worship you. But he was wrong, because God knew Job's heart. And actually in verse 8 here, it gives us two characteristics that we really need to grab hold of. I don't know if you caught it. Okay, so in verse 8 at the end, God says this about Job. He fears God, number one, and stays away from evil, number two. If we could just grab a hold of those two things and live our life that way, we would be on the path that God wants us to be. Okay, now in this verse, fear doesn't mean to be afraid of or to shy away because God is so towering. It means a respect and an awe. In the Message, it puts devoted or devotion. Okay, so that basically is saying that God was number one in Job's life. And then the second thing is he hated evil. Okay, and because of these things, he was on the right path. Okay, now God For whatever reason, I'm not even going to go into that, but God allowed Satan to go and take everything from him, wealth, children, eventually cattle, everything he had taken from him until he was left with nothing. But in the end of the book of Job, God restores everything back to Job, and not just restores it, but he restores it back double. Okay. So in verse 8, God says, have you noticed my servant Job? In other versions, it says, have you considered my friend Job? My question to you tonight is, what if God is saying to you, have you considered my servant Anna? Have you considered my servant John? Have you considered my servant Chris? My friend Chris? My friend Christine? Okay. What if God were to say that about you? Would you stand up as Job did and not curse God through these situations? And like I said, 2020 has brought on some incredible situations for some of us. Some of us that we just cannot wait until it ends, until we hopefully get to 2021 or to the end of this pandemic that has been raging through the world for months, right? But stay strong, okay? God has overcome it, okay? I hope this has been a blessing to you. Dig into this a little bit, okay? If you have some time, the book of Job is about 42 chapters, but it has a great ending. All right. So we'll talk to you soon. God bless.